Hi friends, it's Karla. Welcome to Faith Formation at Home. As you can see, I'm here at church in one of our Faith Formation rooms, and I have my altar, a few things to add to it. I'm gonna put my cross up there. Remind me that Jesus died to save us. And I'm gonna put some candles up there, turn them on to remind us that Jesus is the light of the world, came to show us the way so we know what to do, how to be in this world. Then I'm going to put up my offering basket to remember that I've been blessed and I have plenty to share. I'm going to talk a lot about sharing this weekend at church. For now, until Christmas, our offering from Faith Formation is going to go to the good gifts where we get to buy animals or other agricultural things that people need. So instead of just giving food for a meal or a day, we can buy them a chicken that could lay eggs and give them lots of food for lots of days, and then have more baby chicks and have more eggs, and some to sell or some to share. Gifts that go on and on and on and are good. Maybe it's a piggy. Maybe it's part of a cow. Maybe it's some bees to help their fruit trees blossom and make more fruit. Good gifts is what they call that. We will be collecting from now until Christmas time. That's a kid project that we're working on. Today I also have this bookshelf on my altar. Just helps remember that this Bible is really made up of a whole bunch of small books. And this bookshelf shows just the Old Testament, just the things in the Bible that happened before Jesus was even born. So at the beginning of the year, we talked about Noah and Moses. Those are back here, and those are called the books of the law. Abraham was in there too. And then we have these red ones that are called history books. And this is after Moses helped lead God's people out of slavery, and then they had their own land and became their own nation. This is much of their history right here. And this is more like some poetry and some stories that aren't quite so historical. Psalms and songs and different things. Last week we had made it up to 2 Kings. And in our class, we talked about how much in this history God's people really wanted to have kings. They wanted to be just like the other countries, and God said, that's probably not a great idea. Remember back here when I gave you the 10 Commandments? Those are the only rules you need for living. You don't need a king to tell you what to do. But since God has also given us free choice and lets us make our choices and live with our consequences sometimes, there were kings in Israel. And something in this adventure Bible that seems really fun. Lots of groups have liked this. There's special pages in here that are thicker and they're easy to find. And it tells some special categories maybe in the Bible. And one of those lets us know about these kings, these rulers that came in the history of the Hebrew people. And what's entertaining to us as a group when we read it in class, and to kids as they look at it at home maybe, is that, as usual, people should listen to God's ideas. Because this starts out mostly bad, their very first king. And then they get a good one, and then they get mostly good. And then there's bad, bad, oh good, good, bad, 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 good, mostly good, 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 bad. So you see they're getting kind of a mix of good and bad. And then the list keeps going. Good, bad, bad, good, bad, 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 mostly bad, 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 mostly bad. So this king idea wasn't working out very well for Israel. They had a lot of bad rulers, and that wasn't good for the people. So now God says, this really isn't working for you. Can I help you? Can I give you this message in a new way? So God starts choosing people to get the message right from God and to share it. So instead of through these kings, they're going to try to do it through something called prophets. So a prophet is someone who would hear God's voice, and God would literally tell them to go share this message. Go tell others. So we have some big books called major prophets, and we have some shorter books called minor prophets. And today we want to focus on one called Micah. So these are pretty short books in the Bible, and I can find it if I look in my table of contents. And it's 1,000 pages into my Bible here. This is right towards the end of the New Testament. I'm going to find Micah. He comes right after Jonah. Remember Jonah, who got swallowed by the big fish? That's a funny story. Kind of unusual. So if Jonah was a prophet and he didn't listen to God and he tried to run away, well, now we know even the prophets weren't perfect. That's what we found out about the guys at the beginning too. Really important people of faith, Abraham and Sarah, Noah, Moses, Joshua, but even they made mistakes and had to ask forgiveness and try again. That's the great part. God loves us so much we get to try again. But now the message is coming through Micah. And another thing I like about these adventure Bibles is at the beginning of every book, it tells you a few things about it. It says who wrote this book? The prophet Micah. Why was this book written? Micah reveals God's concern for justice. Oh, God thinks justice is important. What's justice? Fairness, equality, equity, doing what's right. What do we learn about God in this book? Well, we know he's concerned about justice. God cares for the poor and the helpless. What's special about this book? Micah tells the people to turn to God. Only love for God will move people to do what is right. Oh, it's love that causes us to do what's right, to make the good choices and help others. This book was written 600 to 700 years before Jesus was born. There is a lot of history, many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of the Bible, even before Jesus was born. And it says some of the important things in this book. At the beginning, it talks about how bad choices will have bad consequences. And then it talks about a ruler that will come from Bethlehem. Guess who that is? Jesus. So 600 to 700 years before Jesus was born, Micah was getting the message about him and telling the people. And then it says the third important thing in this book is our forgiving God. God forgives us. I'm only going to read one verse today. So I found the book of Micah. I'm going to look for the big numbers, and I'm going to find number 6. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to look for the little tiny numbers and find the 8 right here. He has shown you what is good. What does the Lord ask of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Justice, to act justly. Do what's right, do what's fair, do what helps. To love mercy. Oh, that's the forgiveness piece. To acknowledge that we all make mistakes and we all need to be forgiven or ask forgiveness and move on. And we can do that for each other, and God can do that for us. And to walk humbly with God. To remember that God is the most powerful love and the most powerful force. And that God is here for us, and we can walk with God. So, if that sounds like big words and hard ideas, how do we do it? Well, I have a book called 26 Big Things Small Hands Can Do. This might look young for some of you older school agers, but all these things, as we grow and get more independent, can continue in slightly different ways. I think you'll see. This looks like little kids, and that's where we start. But as we grow, we can continue to do big things, even if we feel small. Your hands are small, but they do big things that make this a wonderful world. Small hands applaud. Small hands build. Small hands color rainbows, red, yellow, and blue. And small hands draw too. Small hands explore the earth for treasures. Small hands feed. Small hands give gifts made with love. Small hands help. Small hands invite new friends to play, and small hands join. Small hands kindle kindness. Small hands lend. Small hands make music in marching bands. Small hands nestle close. Small hands open books and travel far. Small hands plant. Small hands question, so everyone learns. Small hands recycle. Small hands sign love without a sound. And small hands teach. Small hands uncover beautiful things, and small hands volunteer. Small hands water so gardens will grow. Small hands X and O. Small hands, yes, hooray, high five. And small hands, zzz. Good night. From A to Z to XYZ, such big things small hands can do. You make our world a better place. Now big hands clap for you. I know you do good things all the time. Lots of little good things add up to a big difference. That book was by Colleen Peratore. So, as you help and share and volunteer and do all the wonderful things you do and smile and cheer others on, I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.